Welcome everybody to the August meeting of SacNORML. So as all of you, by virtue of being here, have demonstrated, this meeting occurs on the second Wednesday of every month and is open to the public. And so I welcome all of you here in attendance and all of you out there in podcast land that are listening in to our August meeting. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for making the effort to come. It's nice to see so many of the community here, and we have a good show tonight. We're going to be talking about local issues. We're going to be talking about local events. We're going to be talking about legalization initiatives. We're going to be uniting here as a community and raising funds for our organization to continue to get the word out and the truth about cannabis and how we believe it could beneficially be integrated into our culture. So that's what we're about, and welcome and thank you for joining with us. So first, yeah, thanks. A hand for all of us and for all of you listening in out there. So first, I'm going to introduce our chapter's executive director. Many of you know Ron Mullins. Ron Mullins has been very active recently in organizing a rally here in the city about some of the local representatives that he believes maybe should not be in office and not representing our values. So with no more further ado, Ron Mullins.
So this was the sign, one of the signs. We did a whole Lorax theme. Just to give you guys an update, the County of Sacramento Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to add cannabis cultivation as a form of water waste in their new drought restrictions, finable by $500. We made a fuss, so they actually tweaked the language so it doesn't actually say cannabis, but still, if you grow cannabis, you're going to get this $500 fine on top of your normal fines. So we had shirts and we did a little rally. I think we rattled them a little bit. But yesterday they had their final vote and it went through. So now we're using this as the reason why they should overturn their ban. Okay, they're saying, well, banned, we're going to call them water waste, and 100 plant grow 6 gallons of water a day, which is totally wrong. That's gallons of water a day. So then we say, well, what if someone's only growing 9? Whoop-de-doo. We should get at least 9 or more plants outside. So we have a meeting with one of the supervisors we haven't met with before, Kennedy, and we're pushing the idea that the crackdown is being drawn down, and that the idea that local government officials were at risk of being incarcerated for allowing us to grow our marijuana was actually never a problem, and it's certainly not a problem now with the Obama administration and the new Attorney General. Sorry, I've been having a rough day today. Thank you for the shirt. I just threw on my shirt from Pure Life. We will have speakers from Pure Life coming here in just a minute. So if you're interested in joining us with the fight against water, we have a task force that we've put together and we've been organizing. We have a Facebook room. We've got 4 representatives going to go meet with Kennedy, and then I think we need to start hitting them with some sort of cyber petitioning. So we're actually putting together the technical aspect of that, and soon you'll be able to go on and just click and submit an email, and we're going to probably focus them all on like McGlashan, or we might focus on, I might have 4 sites, 1 for each supervisor, or 5. And then the other thing that we're going to have an MCLR announce. Is there anything new to announce, MCLR? Maybe we'll do that in announcements later. Okay. Because, we're coming up on legalization. The Republicans already had their freak show, and it's the beginning of the election season, and I think it's going to be incumbent upon us to be politically active, be aware of what the different initiatives are out there, and there are several. MCLR is one. There's more coming, and as they come, we're going to be making sure everybody knows everything about all of them, and we can make our own decisions. So, I think I had more, but I can't remember. So I think I'm going to turn it over to Mike again, and then you have the agenda list. Right? So watch for our next committee meeting for the water task force on Facebook, but it's going to be in September.
Folks, I want you to give it up for Ron Mullins. Ron Mullins is probably the most active, feet on the ground, fingers on the keyboard, hooked up with social media administrator that we have here. And so please recognize Ron and all of his efforts and successes. So next, we're going to move right along to the treasurer of our SacNORML branch. We have Kim Cargile, who's going to talk to us about what's going on with the state legislature and the people who would like to make rules and laws that would govern our practice. So I give you Kim Cargile.
So, hey everyone, I'm a local medical cannabis activist and have been working here on the city and county and state for about 10 years. So I also am the director of a therapeutic alternative, and in that position we're working really hard on state regulations. So whether we like it or not, it seems like they're going to pass. The last assembly vote was 52-8. And so they're in the Senate and Assembly. They're in the opposite houses now. So they start in either the Senate or Assembly. They go through that house and through different committees and through the main floor, and then they switch houses. And the Assembly bill goes to the Senate, and the Senate goes to the Assembly, and that's where we're at now. We have about a month. So September 11th, we should know what's going to happen, whether we're going to have state regulations or not. So the good news about these regulations is the single patient gardens, the single patient grower, and a caregiver for 5 or few patients who doesn't sell their medical cannabis, but they can get paid for their time and for their products and everything that goes into the growing or the cultivation. But if they're not selling it to a dispensary, they're exempt. So that's good news. But it's extreme regulation. So if you can take the time to read it, the main regulation, which is 266, which seems to be the one that's probably going to pass because it's authored by both Republicans and Democrats. It has 4 different authors. It's Cooley, Bonta, Lackey, and Jones Sawyer, and it's a couple bills that have been merged together. It seems like that's the leading bill right now, and it regulates cultivation, manufacturing, this middleman area that's going to be a wholesaler. So the cannabis will go to the wholesaler. The wholesaler will be responsible for sending it to the lab to have it tested, and then will be distributed to either manufacturers or dispensaries. So there'll be manufacturing permits, dispensing permits, cultivation permits, transportation permits, and wholesaler permits, and nursery permits for just people growing plants that'll be required. So it's going to be interesting. The transition is about 2 years before these permits are required to buy the cannabis. But it seems like it's really going to change our entire industry and how we've been doing things for the last legally for the last 20 years here in California, and that's the collective model. So SB 420 gave us the collective model is how all the dispensaries are set up, how most of the cultivation sites that are larger that are providing for patients are set up, and it's going to take that away from patients. So it's going to be a major transition for our entire industry, and we're doing our best to try to get it to be as positive as possible. It started out a pretty bad bill at the beginning of the year. So basically what I'm here for is to tell everyone to get involved. So far they are listening to us. I've asked for numerous amendments and I've gotten almost all of them. So it's basically just about setting up relationships with them, calling them, emailing them, reading the bills, and giving our input, because it looks like it's going to happen and we really need to do our best as a community to make it the best bill that we can. More good news, when we have our legalization initiative, we're going to be able to make changes to this. So the vote of the people overrides all other law. So we're going to be able to, if there are some major problems with whatever bill comes into place, mostly what I'm talking about right now is 266. And is it 243 or 643? 643 and 266 are the regulations for the entire industry. Those are the two bills that are most likely going to merge together and become one entire industry regulation bill, or they're going to split it up into multiple bills. Like one bill will be cultivation, one will be manufacturing, one will be dispensing. But good news, if that does pass, which it most likely will, our legalization initiatives will be able to fix most of the problems, but it'll still take a couple years. And with this lag time of 2 years before permits are needed, hopefully that'll give us enough time to implement something with the statewide initiative. 2 years. I think it's about 18 months, right? A year and a half. So it was 2 years back in July, and now that's speeding up, and starting January will be the 18 months. So from July it was 2 years. But that bill seems to be moving forward. I can answer any questions about the specifics of it. The cultivation bill, really fast. Woods bill, that cuts off, right now at this point, the main amendment I'm asking for this week is to put in that lag time, because Woods bill, the cultivation bill, the bill that requires every plant to have a tag, it starts January 1st. At that point, a dispensary cannot buy medicine from anyone who doesn't have a permit, and permits won't even be, I mean, the process takes at least 6 months. So, I mean, it took us 5 years to get our dispensary permit. So I can imagine how long this permitting process is going to take. So right now what we're asking for is for them to put in some kind of time frame for us to operate until the permits are given. But I'd be happy to answer any questions about the bills. There's 2 questions. They went up at the same time. Okay. Yeah. 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 So the bills, I cannot keep straight 243 and 643 for the life of me. But one of those and 266. So which is Woods bill? Does anyone know? 643. Okay. 643 and 266, which are the assembly bills, are going to be heard in the Senate next Monday. So amendments, have amendments come out yet, Richard?
No, they usually come out 8 hours before.
Okay.
And generally, when it's on a Monday, they come out like Friday. And always the night before the bill, usually at 2:30 in the morning, because I wait for it. They'll come out with their analysis. It can't always be all 67 pages. So they come with the analysis, and it's pretty bipartisan, and it really gives you a breakdown. You just go to the most recent analysis, have to get up to speed within a couple hours. And the amendments usually are 48 hours before the hearing. That's usually one amendment behind. You gotta have enough time to get it implemented and printed before it goes to the court.
So that's the next meeting. That's next Monday. It may go through another committee before it goes to the main floor. By around September 11th, the governor either has to sign it or veto it. So at that point, we'll know what the regulations are. You're probably right. No, you could be right. I'm not sure how long the governor has to sign it or veto it. So that sounds more accurate.
30 days.
30 days. Okay, so October 11th is by the time I guess we'll know for sure. So it'll be out of the Senate or Assembly by September 11th. The governor will be able to have the final say by October 11th, and it'll go into effect January 1st.
The folks doing the analysis of the bill that work with the state legislation, they're going to come up with their version of their analysis of this bill. So if one of us reads the bill, I can guarantee that our analysis is going to be markedly different than their analysis. Just because their analysis sounds good on paper doesn't mean that's what the bill really is.
I agree. Totally.
The second
Yeah.
thing is the really important caveats of this bill are, in my opinion, if you are an ex-con, you have a felony, for any reason, you cannot participate at all. A good number of people that are in this subculture in California and have been for decades have been nailed for marijuana and have been given a felony before. So, and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
A good number of people would be excluded from that caveat. Another one, and it's even more exclusive and probably excludes everybody in theory from participating in AB 66, is the provision of moral turpitude. If, according to officers that will be charged with assigning permits, okay, and granting all this stuff, it's bad to begin with, because they've been antagonists for this movement the whole time. So they're bad actors. I don't understand why they're put in this position, but they are. If you have engaged in an act of moral turpitude, if you look up the California definition of what moral turpitude is, it means cultivating marijuana in any way, shape, or form. So if you cultivated marijuana as a medical patient, you're not allowed to get a permit because you have violated moral turpitude according to the state of California rules. They don't spell that out in the bill. It's a sneak attack. And there's a lot of bomblets in that bill that everyone's taking the face value unless you really do your own analysis to figure out what the truth is in that bill, you're going to get mad.
So I think it's really important to bring these issues up with the senators or the assembly members who are writing the bill, because they may not understand that.
They won't.
Yeah.
They don't want to understand. You have been to some of these meetings. They hand it to each other. When they go up there and talk, oh, you're so great, you're wonderful, all this good. Oh, my parents are all cops, my uncles are cops, my cousins are cops. Yeah. They don't talk about anything substantial. They don't ask for real doctors, real nurses, real public health people, environmental health people. The people, the growers, okay, they don't ask them to go up there and talk and get their opinion. They're doing this all between themselves and drafting this legislation. So I don't understand. I read this bill, and I've studied it. It is a lousy bill. It is a shitty bill. And I'd rather not pass a shitty bill than become a shitty law. One of the initiatives might be a better deal.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say is there's nothing we could really do about it. The law seems, I mean, if it's going to pass, so the only thing we can do is give our input, right? Because it's passing. The meetings are going forward and they're voting for it. And that's how our government is. So I think that the main thing is to tell them your thoughts. Write down your thoughts. Go to the meetings and set up private meetings and talk to them. So yeah, we all have time to talk at the end of the meeting. They let us say whether we oppose or. That's what I'm talking about. They either let you oppose or support it and talk at the end. And so you can do that. You can write letters, and afterwards you can talk to them in the hallway or go to their office and express your concerns. Because the private meetings, actually, you're most likely going to get a lot more done than the public meetings because you have time alone with them. And you're going to be able to build a relationship with them.
The committee, they had the bill. Office submitted the bill to this committee at the committee hearing. He submitted it late. They didn't have time to read the amendments. You know what happened? The chair of the finance committee scolded Bobka for submitting it to him at the last second. They didn't have time to read it. He scolded him. He goes, I trust you. And he went ahead and passed it unanimously. It could have said anything, like we're going to spill toxic waste in the Sacramento River. He didn't read it, and he went and passed it along. What kind of legislation is that?
And that's how it works.
I was
That's
there
how it
for that
works.
meeting.
That's bullshit.
I was there for that meeting. But there was stuff in the background you didn't get to see, and it was the merger of two bills. We've been fighting for this for a number of years. We've been fighting for a number of years, and we have tried. This has been a 3-year bill. It was originally 1262, 2312, and then this year it went into 266. We have tried every step of the way. We have tried for the patient's rights, and we have been there every step of the way. Bottom line, they make up their mind, and the only thing we can do is later with an initiative to correct it. We are trying to stop this, but there's no way, because we have not had enough people come to the table. ACE has done some very good things. You may disagree with ACE, but if we don't do this, we're going to lose out our medical rights in this state, and that's why we must do this. There is room for the cottage industry, and those people that can get up and do it, I encourage them to do it. But change isn't going to happen unless you go there. And I'm not talking about to the hearings. I'm talking about spending days a week outside of full-time work. We all do it. We go there on a regular basis. We don't only go there for the hearings. We go to each and every office and we knock on doors. We try to get support, and we do it as patients.
And there's going to be friction like you've never seen before. Let me give you one example. If only certain people are allowed to do this thing in the manner that the bill describes, and a whole bunch of other people are shut out, you're going to get people snitching on each other. You're going to have a bad situation, because there are pages and pages and pages in AB 266 of incentives to punish people that already get a license, okay, if they don't conform completely. And you're going to have neighbors that used to be able to do it the way that it's being now that won't be able to do it. Do you think there's not going to be a little resentment there? There will be, all over the state, right? And then if you get these growers that have been doing it for decades, maybe of his generation, you know what they're going to do? A lot of them, they're just going to go like, they're going to go like this. They're going to go like this to the establishment like they always have. And the cops are going to love it because they're going to descend on them. Aging and Adult Services is going to have a lot of work in the prisons to do. Okay?
Well, unjust law shouldn't be followed, first of all. But the matter of the fact is we've tried to stop it. We have not been able to stop it. We have
Let's
not
just
had
focus
enough,
on the initiative.
We have not had enough patients come out and speak and go to the legislative offices. We can only do what we can do. And we do what's best for the patients that we know, and we have nothing involved or no political gain or no financial gain from this. Absolutely, and we're encouraging that. But the point is, we have not been able to try to stop this, and we have tried. Believe me, we have tried, and we've not been able to stop this. That's an initiative that's coming down next year.
Can I just interrupt for a second and get back into a little bit of control? I want to thank Kim for the wonderful presentation that she gave us about the history. Kim Cargile and Richard Miller, another of our proud board members here at SacNORML, who came up and helped out. I just want to address this issue kind of head on. I don't know anybody in the cannabis industry that supports 266. Okay. Everybody with me? Is there anybody here that would like to defend 266 to this group? To give you the microphone. Okay? Yeah. All right? We are opposed to this unless it's amended. We have been working diligently to try and get it amended as hard as we can, because those are only the only hits that we can make right now. Those are the only tools we have to try and educate our legislators, who frankly we all know are more interested in not doing anything to keep them from being reelected than they are in modifying our industry so that we can respond in a responsible, legal, taxpayer mode, okay? Which is what we would all embrace. So that said, we can still try and educate these legislators, because they're going to be the ones that are going to implement the initiative that we're going to pass in 2016 to legalize cannabis in California, right? So they're going to do we are going to try and support them and educate them so that they can have the most enlightened view of what they could do. Many of them will not choose to do so because they don't want to risk their reelection potential. Okay? So we just have to accept that as a fact. In the meantime, we are going to have a legalization initiative on the ballot in 2016. And when we all vote for it, we'll have a much better view of how all of the industry can work to give a wonderful plant to the people that benefit from it. All right? Okay? So I think that's what we all want, right? And in that, you know, I want to say I think we are really united. Okay? And we can argue about the pros and cons of this bill. And frankly, I could bring up probably a dozen things that I think are absolutely reprehensible about this bill, okay? Including the fact that at the very beginning, they're not willing to make a declarative statement that cannabis has medical value and should not be in a Schedule I status in the state of California, right? It's hypocritical, okay? But we're doing what we can. And you, all of you here and all of you listening in, can make a difference if you want to take the time and engage with your legislator, your assembly member, your state representative about your views on how this process is going. And the more of us that step forward and come out of the shadows and into the light and make that statement and do it declaratively and responsibly, the more of us that establish relationships with these people so they see us as individuals and as human beings, and most importantly, people just like them, right? The better success we'll have eventually, right? So that said, I was actually down here as the next speaker, but I'm going to change the subject and talk about what I'm supposed to be talking about here. Before I do, I want to, okay, Richard, you want to come up and talk to the mic? Richard Miller, once again, a clarification.
I just want to address the one issue regarding the felony issue. That is an amendment that has already been addressed, and it's going to come out in the next set of amendments. It's been addressed. However, it's only going to include felonies that are associated with cannabis if there wasn't guns or violent criminals. And it does come to more moral turpitude. I'm just going to let you know that it's coming out. I can't tell you the exact wordage, but rumor in the works that it is coming out. Okay.
With regard to the felon thing, though, isn't there also going to be, let's say you committed a strong-arm robbery when you were 18 years old. What if you went through a restitution program and you went to rehab and you got certified that you are a good guy now? Are you going to get thrown out?
Just real quick, because we got to get on, but it's my understanding it's going to be a case-by-case basis, and you're going to have to submit to the courts on those violent issues. But they're addressing the medical cannabis patients that have felonies so they can have an opportunity at the table. So I just don't know the wording, and it depends on how they word it. Okay, thank you.
So now I have the unwieldy responsibility of introducing our next speaker, which is me. So I'm Mike Grafton, Granddaddy Mike. Thanks. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to address some people I really care about something that I really love. I want to take just a few minutes and talk about this 13th day fire that we've got going up in Northern California. I know many of you are aware of the 80,000 acres of California land that has been devastated by this fire. And I'm sure some of you at least have heard some of the anecdotal stories that I've heard about how it's affecting our industry. Many of our brothers and sisters who are up there in the hills growing cannabis for us, right, have been wiped out by this fire. And unfortunately, I'm here to also say there are predators in our culture who are taking advantage of this dire environmental emergency to come in disguised as rescuers and help people quick harvest, help people empty out their cure rooms, help people empty out their barns, help people basically collect all of their crop for the year so that they can steal it. Right? And I've heard at least one report of such a crew who was dressed in fire gear and had equipment with them. So I want to let you know that it's unfortunate that our industry is still so illegal, right? That this isn't an opportunity for our community to come together and responsibly rescue each other because everybody's afraid of the legal liability involved. And that there are psychopaths in our community who would take advantage of this situation is just reprehensible. So when we talk about the future of cannabis industry in the state of California, I hope you join with me in realizing that we need to identify and eliminate the psychopaths who take advantage of other people and are predators, okay? And the thing that would make the most difference is if cannabis was legal, okay? That's the bottom line. If it's a legal crop and it's treated like grapes or peaches or alfalfa, you know, this wouldn't be the situation and we wouldn't have this vulnerability and this liability. So, you know, let's think for a minute about people who have in the last 2 weeks lost everything on their farm that they have spent, in some cases, decades growing and developing. Watersheds and water sources and plant sites and nutrition and soil amendments and building greenhouses and barns and farms and fences and drilling wells, all of which now have been wiped out. So when you think about what that has to do with the crop and what that has to do with the prices this year, realize that this is a farm agricultural, and there are good years and there are bad years, and there are fortunately some localized conditions like a forest fire that suddenly come in and have a devastating effect on some people. And that could all be mitigated if it was just legal. So I also wanted to just take a minute because I've heard a lot of buzz now in the media. Everybody knows about the eradication efforts that are being disguised as environmental enforcement. You know, people are going in and saying, you know, it's the watershed. It's the, you know, the rampant consumption of exaggerated amounts of water. And I've heard some ridiculous figures. I mean, this number going around about 6 gallons per day for a mature plant. First of all, I want to grant, in the end of the veg stage, in the few weeks that you're into flowering before you stop to purge your plant, right? There are some plants that are 12, 15 feet in diameter and 10 or 12 feet high, and those plants may indeed take 6 gallons or more, up to 8, maybe 10 gallons of water during those days. But the people who are so naive and ignorant that they sit back and they say, well, growth cycle of a cannabis plant's 6 months, 30 days in a month, so that's 180 days. 6 gallons per day, and they multiply that by the 180, and they come up with, you know, thousands of gallons. Going, well, you know, anybody who has grown a cannabis plant knows that when you have this little seedling that's growing up in a little 2x2 square, right? All you can do is float it in 6 gallons of water, right? There's no way you could possibly consume that amount of water, right? So I just want to say those numbers out there are ridiculous. Nevertheless, the amount of water consumed in cannabis production has to be an issue for the water resources of the state of California, right? And once cannabis is recognized as a legal crop, we will have rights to those waters, just like people that grow grapes, just like people who grow tomatoes, just like people who grow anything else. Okay, so let's not be foiled by our opposition coming in and rattling their saber about environment over water consumption in cannabis. Folks, it's not that dramatic. Now, I want to just change the subject because everybody's talking about that. I want to bring to everybody's attention what happens to the water after the plant uses it. So I'm talking about runoff water, right? I'm talking about the fact that some people, and I would call them irresponsible growers, and if you're one out there and you don't know what you're doing, give me a call and I'll help you out. But some of them are over-fertilizing their plants. Some of them don't know what their plant really needs, right? So they're using organophosphates in ratios and proportions that are not even in the best interest of the plant and their harvest, right? And some of them aren't observing proper setbacks from watersheds, right? Even though it's easiest for you to get water to your plant if it's closer to a water source because you don't have to carry it so far, you need to be sensitive to what happens to the runoff water, right, from that plant, and how you're contaminating your watershed and the watershed for all of your neighbors downstream. And I want to also point out that indoor growers are perhaps more egregious in this practice because they know exactly what goes down their sewer into the local watershed, the local sewage rates, right? And many of them, if you're a production or commercial indoor grower, have the responsibility to pre-treat your effluent before you put it in the drain, right? Because if it all ends up in San Francisco Bay, right, it's going to be an algae bloom out there. And we're watching that disproportionate amount of, and it's not just the cannabis community, right? There's a lot of agricultural crops that are guilty of the same practice. But I'm just pointing out a way in which we, as responsible members of the cannabis industry, can demonstrate our responsibility and take the lead, right, in showing people how to conscientiously produce this medicine. That's what I wanted to talk about, a few enlightened things. I also have heard some heroic stories about the fire. You know, people showing up with a pickup truck and they've got strapped to it the water tank that they don't need on their place that's empty because it's 10 feet in diameter and 5 feet high and has a lid on it, and it will hold all of their neighbors' cured cannabis that's sitting in a barn that's about ready to burn down. And they throw all of the cannabis into the tank and cover it up and put it down with straps and drive down the hill through the fire. And the first people that they encounter are the fire rescue teams who want to know where they came from, how many of their neighbors are still there, how many people have been evacuated. And yeah, looks like you're going to lose everything. We'll let you go with your crop. Good night. Right? So there are people out there who support us and step forward in these unusual times to demonstrate their courage, their moral courage to do so. And I applaud them. Okay, I want to pump the raffle, right? For those of you that are new, for those of you that are new, I Granddaddy Mike, typically win in the raffle. And the way I do it is by increasing the odds and buying a lot of tickets. All right? So that's my strategy, and I just want to let you know, I recommend it. So tickets are $1 or 6 for $5. We have a whole table full of prizes later towards the end of the meeting. We'll be matching up raffle tickets. So I encourage you to meet with, where's Isini? Isini's got the tickets. Over here is. Okay, so anyway, everybody buy some raffle tickets, please. All right. Oh, some of these items that we're raffling off. Good idea. We've got some Pure Life T-shirts here. We've got a Marijuana Grow Basics book. We've got a copy of the original Hayes poster from 1975. We've got a CD of the song My Friend Mary. We've got a number of flavor jars. Ooh, they're scented flavor jars. They have with terpenes, so you can get them to smell. You can buy a jar that smells like you like it to smell. We've got a wool hat, a pair of shorts, and this is from Ecological Laboratories. It looks like a hydroponics test kit. Okay, so all these things can be yours if you buy the right raffle ticket. Take your chances. If you don't buy a ticket, you don't got no chance. Oh, excuse me. Anthony says these are collected microbes. So these are, soil amendments, microbiotic food for your plants. So please buy tickets. All right, next it's my privilege, and I'm proud to introduce one of my colleagues, another member of the board of the Americans for Policy Reform, and one of the proponents of MCLR, John Lee, is here. John, come on up and give us a few minutes.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. And again, Ron, everybody, thanks for letting me jump the agenda. I try to come up as often as I can. I don't always want to force myself on, but they're always kind enough to let me speak. So thanks to all my friends here. It's been many years that I've been joining everybody, and I see a whole bunch of new faces, which is always exciting for what happens at SacNORML. I can say it clearly with all my efforts around the state that there's no more educated and excited group that gets together than this group, and it's a kudos to obviously the people who have been working for so many years here, but the kind of people in Sacramento that are serious about what's happening. So there's a couple of folks that spoke earlier, obviously Ron and Kimberly and Ron also, and the work that they're doing in Sacramento, and this fellow over in the back there, what's his name, Granddaddy so-and-so. Now, Granddaddy Mike, I shouldn't demean or do those funny things. He's a true leader in our organization, provides information and stability for all of us. In particular, what's interesting to me tonight, if you don't mind, is this gentleman that spoke up so much. I'm sorry I don't know your name, sir. Tim? Jim? Thanks, Jim. Thanks for your passion, number one, and I hope you understand you kind of got the idea that it isn't that you weren't preaching to the choir. That's not what we're trying to say, but everybody understands your perspective. And what I would suggest and ask, again, I haven't said who I am, maybe for people that don't know me, but I would suggest that you focus that passion in what we need to do here in the next few months and weeks, and you have that opportunity here. Again, my name is John Lee. Granddaddy mentioned that I'm a board member of AFPR, Americans for Policy Reform. We're a 501c4 in California that worked for several years here on legalization effort, and one of our projects has been the MCLR initiative, Marijuana Control Legalization and Revenue Act. We attempted to get on the ballot in 2014. Both outside of our industry and even within our industry, that wasn't the appropriate time frame for everybody. So here we are in 16, and it's been a long, long road and challenge. And we all had a lot of ups and downs, but now we're at a critical point for all of us. And we hear the passion that everybody's dealing with, but obviously what's going to occur at the state legislature is something we can't avoid. So instead of obviously doing the battle and the work like Kimberly and Ron were saying that we all need to do, and I'll be doing some more and speaking directly to the people in Sacramento here, is we have to prepare and look forward for the results of what will occur if this does happen and how we address it. And we already talked about what are our options. In California, fortunately, we have the initiative process. And so that's what we're talking about. The MCLR initiative has been passed, or has been filed. For folks that know about it, we've filed twice. And several of the proponents are in the room with me. Thank you again. And the long road is here. We are going to file again. Everybody's known about MCLR. We are an open source process. You talk about what you want to see on the initiative. We're the only initiative currently that is taking input from the public to put into the language. So I appreciate all the other initiatives. Everybody who works on the other initiatives knows me. They're friends. They're cohorts. We're fighting this battle together. What I'm saying at this point, if you have some interest in contributing to the language, that's an option we're providing. The other initiatives have their own processes, and you can deal with those. I'm not here to talk about them necessarily, but I'm here to talk about what we can do for you. And if you have some interest in it, that's something that we have to offer you from MCLR. But more importantly is, what can you do with that? What can we do right now? We're all working together. We're obviously in the same room together. I was making some notes about what's coming up. And again, it's the ballot initiative. And we have a very short time. So when we talk to people now, we use a sense of urgency. We're using a sense of urgency, not only the language and all the processes we're doing, the raising the money. AFPR is a nonprofit. You can donate to our nonprofit because we're working on legalization. But these are the ideas. We used to say these things because we all need money to operate. Now we need money to win, because there is no second chance in California. 266 will probably pass right now, we think. If we're going to make that assumption, which we should consider as a risk management group here, we need to understand what's our alternatives. The alternative is working at other legislative levels and using the initiative process. So if you want to be a part of the process, you need to look at the other initiatives out there, see which one makes sense most for you. And if you can't influence them or adjust them or change them, but you feel MCLR can, that's what I'm offering to you. So we've always been open about this. It's an open process, and I want to again offer that to everybody here. But I 100% support everybody's efforts and everything we're doing, and that's not just talk. Those of you that know me and know what I've been trying to do for many years is always working on unity. Tough word. We've thrown that around for a lot of years here. We are working on unification, but we still haven't gotten there yet, as we know. And I'm not sure if we 100% will. I don't want to just waste a lot of time trying to push it unrealistically, but the one thing we're unified is what the opposition is providing. Granddaddy mentioned the raids, whether it's up in the Northwest, whether it's in sovereign Indian lands, whether it's in collectives in our own towns. I live in San Jose. You want to hear some horror stories, think about what's going on in there. So right now, the only way we can do is my focus is entirely on the statewide efforts. So my interest, again, is keeping people informed. mclr.us is our website. Anybody can go there at any time and contribute. You can communicate directly to me. You can look at the language and make some notes. Everybody can be involved in that process. And we expect to file again after we see the results of the final language of 266. That's our perspective. At that point, everybody will have to file to qualify for the ballot. So that was the time frame I was asking Kimberly about what's happening excuse me, on the statewide level. On the initiative process, we have to have this in most likely by mid-September. If we don't file mid-September at the latest, we're running the risk of not having enough time to signature gather. All those things all tied around, again, money raising and cooperation. So will we have multiple initiatives on the ballot? That's not my interest in addressing right now. What my interest in is providing an opportunity, answering questions. What are your needs now? The point is we're on a critical time period. There's not much time for more discussion. There's certainly time for action and finding people. Look what Kim, again, I keep mentioning Kim and Ron and what they're doing. They go in there and they knock on doors. I stood in front of Cooley. I spoke to Bonner. I went and did these, but I understand what they're doing, and I wish I could be here every day because it's the only way we're getting stuff done. So we can talk all we want in here, but we need everybody to even take it up one more level right now and do that. Write your congressman or your representatives, go knock on the door, make an appointment. You can actually call them up and say, can I come in and see you tomorrow? And you can, if you don't see them, you see the aides. And the aides sometimes are just as influential as the individuals. And you can, so now's the time to do it. It's the only time in our lifetime that you can do these things. We've been waiting 100 years for this opportunity. We waited since Nixon started the drug war. We've been waiting all these years for different things. Now is the time. So if you can't do it, you need to get your friends out there. You need to get other people. You need to get them out to help. You need to get them to register to vote. How about that one? Register to vote. We lost an election in San Jose, 2,000 votes to the 10th largest city in the United States by 2,000 votes because we didn't get the cannabis vote out enough. We could have changed that election. So those opportunities are out there. We need to get the vote out. Stoners traditionally don't. You know who's going to come to the ballots, right? The silent conservative majority. They're the ones going to come to the ballots, the ones who traditionally vote. We're talking about it here, and everybody's saying, well, that's not going to happen. I'm not worried about everybody in here. It's the education process. So I'll get off my soapbox. I'm not preaching to you. I'm preaching with you and for you. This is passionate for me, obviously. I have the ability and the resources, hopefully, to channel and give you a vehicle to present your ideas, and that's my intent here. My questions, my door, my phone, my email is always open to people. How I can support and do anything for anybody else is really my intent. Once again, we are going to be filing, as everybody knows. And remember also, the discussion changes after the filing process is done. In a few months, when all the language is filed, the initiatives are filed, we don't sit here and argue about language anymore. Then we get active. Then we get out and we educate. We signature gather. We raise money. We get those people that are on the bubble to vote. So this is an ongoing process. This is fun now, and let's keep battling and doing it. But long run, we've got a lot of work to do. So thanks for your support. Any questions about what we're doing and any other proponents involved with me, you can certainly talk after the fact here. But I appreciate everybody's help. And once again, mclr.us. I'm John Lee. Any other questions? Anything I can do for anybody? Thanks for being here, everybody. A lot of new faces. So thanks, you guys. Speak up and do what you can.
Thank you. Thank you. John Lee, another, as you can tell, impassioned activist, right? And I'm proud to be associated with him and proud to have him representing all of us in this legalization effort statewide. Guess what? It's time to talk about, one more time, the raffle. I want to let you know that I've just received a secret communication. And this is a donation from Sequoia Labs. This is this certificate right here in my hand is worth $100 of lab testing in a cannabis laboratory, right? Okay, so there are people, thank you. Yeah, a hand for Sequoia Labs. Thank you for your generosity. And now that you know that we have this wonderful prize, right? It's time to go out and buy raffle tickets because you can't win this prize without a raffle ticket, okay? Everybody's got that idea, right? They keep putting me up here because I have to mention this a number of different times, okay? So Ron is standing here with the jar. If you don't have a raffle ticket and it's not in there, you're not going to have a chance to win $100 worth of lab testing, thanks to the generosity of Sequoia Labs. Okay, moving right along. Next, I'm going to introduce a woman who is a tireless advocate, works with the Brownie Mary Club here of Sacramento, has gone to a number of statewide events representing that group. She's been an advocate for a long time, and she's going to give us some exciting news about the upcoming change in the status of the Brownie Mary Club in the state of California. So I give you Marcia Blount.
Gosh, this way here. First of all, I just want to talk about for a moment why Brownie Mary Club. Okay, first of all, it's a tribute to a woman who was in the San Francisco area who used to make brownies for the AIDS patients, medicated brownies for the AIDS patients, and take them to the hospitals. And she was arrested, you know, more than once, but she just kept doing it. She's not with us any longer, but she did this in her 80s. So, you know, everyone can do something to promote the cause and to help other people. Anyways, so the Brownie Mary Club in Riverside County is because we wanted to have another avenue to affect our legislators, you know, when they're working on their bills. If within the Democratic Party, to make it easier for them to support our cause, that's what we were going to do. So what we did was came up with a couple of there are actually so now 14, the California Democratic Party supports medical marijuana, also supports the legalization of cannabis for adult use. It's on our California Democratic platform. We use that now when we go to talk to our legislators who are Democrats, and we say, you know, our party supports this. You have political cover now to support us. Come on. So that's why we're doing this. And now, after we've got about at least six clubs in California now. And ours was the second, and of course Lanny's was the first in Riverside. And so now we've actually a statewide charter with the California Democratic Party, and we may end up in the next week, we'll find out if we get chartered by the state. What that would mean is people who live in counties that don't have a club can still join the Brownie Mary Democratic Club of California. And then they could participate in any activities and that kind of stuff. So that's what's cool about that. And so that's coming up just August 14th through 16th. So it's coming up very shortly. If any of you would like to write a letter, recommendation, or support the chartering of Democratic Club for California, I can give you the information on who to send the email or letter to. Our next meeting in Sacramento will be Thursday, September 3rd, and it'll be right here at 6:30. And that's it.
Marcia Blount. Marcia. She's out there working hard for month in and month out. Wouldn't it be great? I mean, if California, you could register not only a member of your local political group, but a political group organization. Now, these folks, and Lanny Swerdlow have actually gotten to the point now where we have a platform in the democratic legalization of cannabis in the state of California, right? And large like this and their work. So thank you very much for your help. So next, we're going to move along. Some in regular attendance for the last few months, say 5 or 6 months, have listened to Kelly come up and describe the saga of the travails that have occurred with Pure Life and his collective. So it's about time for another update, and we're privileged and happy to have Kelly here in person to be able to deliver it. So here he is, Kelly.
Thank you, guys, and for, like everyone said before and tonight, you know, it takes people bodies in place to show up and be at a place to make this movement that we're all a part of here. Quick backstory: we had a small collective in the foothills of El Dorado County, admitted from had a written letter, sheriff, district board copied on. They were still rated by our local sheriff. They showed up with their their TV show cameras, and they were hoping to get something. I'm not sure what they were hoping to find, but they didn't find it because they never aired it. And they didn't press charges for about 5 months, so they let us wait. All of our finances froze, our lives turned upside down, kids removed from homes, all that kind of stuff. And now we're moving through the court processes, which just continues to drag on. We've continued to stay closed because that's what they told us to do. We have a preliminary trial September 21st. So we need as many bodies as we can get in El Dorado County on Main Street, Placerville. These t-shirts are these t-shirts we had made up for supporters. So my idea in bringing these tonight was to get them to as many people as can show up. So if you win one of these tonight, try and do everything you can that would mean the most to us, to get up and be a body. And if you don't win one of these, put on a green shirt of any kind and just be there so they can look out and see you green. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry when I see people who have unfortunately suffered for our movement, and all I can say is, we are not victims. Okay, we are heroes who will rise again, and we all know that we will not lose this battle as long as we keep getting back up. Okay? So if you have the time and if you have the energy and you can show up in El Dorado and do some court support for Kelly and the people up there at Pure Life, please take the time and spend that energy. It will be time well spent. It will enrich your heart, and it will uplift your spirit to be a member of that group.
Let me give you the specifics of the date because I got caught up in the story. September 21st, 1 p.m., and it's Department 2, which is Main Street, Placerville, 495 Main Street. It's right downtown. If you've ever been to Placerville, it's across from the Round Table, the end of Main Street. So we'll be easy to find. We're going to be in touch with all media, radio, news, paper, and try and have a big coverage there on the steps. We'll be there for a half hour before the preliminary trial starts at 1:30. So we're hoping to get it all dismissed because we have sufficient evidence proving what we were doing was right, and our books are clean as can be. So we are a true good cause and a good fight. And thank you for any support.
Thanks. And if there's anybody here that is willing to make a commitment today to show up on September the 21st in El Dorado County, I will buy you one of these T-shirts to wear, okay? I personally will buy you one of these T-shirts if you will show up there for Kelly. And I want to let you know, if you haven't, if the bell really hasn't rung inside your cranium yet, you need to realize, there but for the grace of God go I. All right? That's why we stand up in court. We stand up in court because if we were the defendant, we would want people standing up in court for us. Thank you. Thank you. And I would be remiss when I talk about court appearance if I didn't at least give a shout out to the Human Solution, okay? Some of you are aware of the Human Solution. Yeah, thank you for the Human Solution. A good cause and a good cause for recognition with an applause. These few people know how to organize court support, right? If you haven't followed them in the media and don't know what they've been doing, they recently managed to what should I say? They managed to pull off a jury nullification in Kansas. All right. Okay. I mean, they just planned strategically to have the right people in the right place with vehicles with big signs up about jury nullification so that the jury was informed about that option, and they all ended up voting to acquit this man. Right? So they're doing that not just in California. This is a nationwide organization and, oh, excuse me, international. Thank you, Kavai. Well, with that, I'm going to move on to Kavai, right? So I want to introduce Kavai and Aaron, who are going to come up here and give us a little bit of a brief about other things in El Dorado County. Kavai Floyd. I should just mention another board member of SacNORML.
Hi, everybody. Just want to let you know we're still fighting a hardcore fight. We're definitely there supporting Kelly. We have more than just Kelly's case. We've got quite a few cases going on in El Dorado County right now. And what we're unearthing is a lot of corruption up in our county. And we're actually having a rally on August 25th. Aaron here has actually been one of the biggest supporters and organizers of that. And what we're going to do is actually we're going to stand up. His trial starts on August 25th. And what we're doing is we're standing up and to show the corruption and just show how bad it is up where we're at, and looking for support for everybody to come in and let these people know that we're aware of what they're doing. We are tabulating, we're getting all the information together of what they are doing. We have talked to quite a few people on quite a few different cases, and we're finding out just how illegal their operations are up there. And we're looking for everybody's support. I just want to give the table to Aaron so Aaron can really talk about what's going on.
Hi. Thank you. Most of you know me here. I've been in and out of NORML for the last few years. I am one of your growers. I've been up in the hills. You know, my background is in, I spent a lot of summers in Petrolia Valley, Ferndale, and Humboldt, my uncle, learning old school ways, hiding in the woods, being afraid, all those things. So I'm one of those people, and we've been getting killed in El Dorado County. They're coming, I mean, not only my case, Pure Life's case, we've got Cody Bass, Tahoe Wellness. There's several big cases. And so for the past few months, I've been organizing El Dorado County, specifically concentrating El Dorado County. But I'm here today to ask you guys to please come out on August 25th. It's going to be a huge rally. They've never had a rally in El Dorado County. They have never had a rally there. Never had a big rally, never had a big protest. We're going to do it in front of the main courthouse on Main Street in Placerville. I've been getting some information back. There's a group up there called the RCC that has to do with some of the churches up there, and the law enforcement agencies or people that are members of law enforcement are organizing against us. And from what I've heard and some of the feedback I've been getting is they plan on being at the event. So it's going to be a pretty interesting, pretty exciting place to be. But I would just like to say this now while we're all here. If you do come to the event, we will not antagonize. We will not say names. We will not respond to any antagonism. We are going to be a peaceful protest, and we'd like to make a strong statement right now in El Dorado County that you guys support the growers up there, because like I said, we are getting killed up there. They've used CAL FIRE, they've used this MAVBET team, Fish and Wildlife, Fish and Game, the county permitting, the permitting departments come on my property.
Yeah, they're not just staying in the county. They're actually jumping county lines without proper documentation in order to mess with people. And this is how far that they're going. They're taking Fish and Wildlife and taking the El Dorado County sheriffs without warrants and going into another county and raiding establishments, and then using it to forward it and raid further establishments that have nothing to do with the one that they originally started at, that they had no legal right to be at. And this is the corruption that we are dealing with up there times 10.
They're taking, what they're doing is they're going on to properties. They're taking property, not only the medicine that's there, but also the property. Like, for example, they took a tractor, they took an auger, they took a bunch of equipment for my property, never left the property list. They've done this to several people. I've had, my collective members were there. They said, oh yeah, we're going to get a new tractor out of this. It's really bad. And I'm just, please come out on the 25th, and so we can make a strong statement as a community. I've been working really hard, and we've got a lot of people in El Dorado County. Cody's been working on this. I'm going to be hopefully providing 2 cargo vans leaving from Sacramento as well, so we can transport you guys. I'm on Facebook. My name is Aaron O'Neill, ERINONEIL, and I'm posting on a daily basis, and I'll have more information about the cargo vans and where we're going to meet for carpooling. Thank you. Thank you for hearing me. Appreciate it.
What time of the rally?
8:30 in the morning on the 25th is when it starts. It's the first day of my trial, so it's going to be going all day. Kavai is going to be the lead person in front of the courthouse. And like I said, please bring your polite hats, and because I really have a feeling that there's a really big, strong campaign with this RCC committee that's going to be coming out against us. So
yeah, we've actually been warned for over 5 years now not to have a rally in El Dorado County. We've been warned that the retribution, if we do, is going to come at us tenfold. So we really need your help to stand up and make a solid showing that they cannot no longer mess with us. Please show up. We come down for Sacramento all the time. We really need your support up there. We are getting death threats to an unbelievable level. So we need you guys.
Kelly, me, Cody Bass, there's several of us that there's some big cases going through.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Aaron, thank you very much. So once again, you see, folks, we need your energy. We need your time. We need your contributions. So please, give us your energy, give us your attendance. Show up for these people. Okay, they would show up for you. And until we start showing up, until we start demonstrating that we are the largest oppressed majority in this country. Now think about that, oppressed majority, right? We are a majority. It's time for us to start exercising that power, and we do it by standing up together. Okay? Tim. Well, the ACLU is working on our behalf, yes, but they aren't interested in individual cases. They really pick and choose which ones they think they can get the most mileage out of. So we as a community need to stand up and support the other members of our community. All right. Okay, Marcia, would you please come up here and tell us a little bit more about the ACLU?
I just wanted to let you know that the ACLU was on a commission with Gavin Newsom, and they've released their findings, and it's basically their guidelines that they would like to have followed for the initiative that's going to be out in 2016. So yes, the ACLU is involved in this movement.
Thank you. Thank you. So next, I'm pleased and proud to introduce my friend Bob Bowerman. Many of you who have been here from the start with SacNORML recognize Bob. I'm sure most of you realize he's still in recovery from some open heart surgery. I understand there's some more in the works in the future. So thank you for all your blessings, and I invite you to send some more for Bob's quick and complete recovery. But Bob is here, and I have a feeling there are a lot of people in this room that know at least one sentence that he's going to use in his presentation. Okay? So I just want to kind of cue him up here. When we get to that part, let's all say it together. All right? So here he is, Bob Bowerman.
Thanks, Mike. Hi. And wow, this is growing quite a bit. A lot of new faces. This is pretty awesome. And I had the opportunity to sit on the sidelines for the board meeting, which is quite different because usually I'm used to be in the middle of that, and I was on. And like, whoa! Hey, you know what? The board members, the new board members, they did what I was really hoping. They took the whole thing here to a new level. These guys so involved on every level of the politics that you need, that we need for successful cannabis, okay? So I'd like to give a big hand to the new, I guess they're not that new anymore, but the board of members, the Sacramento NORML. Okay. Okay. One of the things I've been doing pretty much all my life, and that's having positive cannabis conversations with people I don't know, okay? I had open heart surgery, triple bypass, just a few weeks ago. And this is actually my first event out. And it's like, whoa, freedom, yay. But I was in Kaiser, okay? And a lot of people know Kaiser is not necessarily the most cannabis-friendly, facility in the country. Actually, they've been one of our opponents for quite a while. Well, I started having my positive cannabis conversations with all these different surgeons, and I was at they shipped me off to San Francisco to their heart hospital over there, and I had the high majority of the nurses by the time I was done. And I got a couple of witnesses. Granddaddy was one, Mike's another, where I had these people, if not at least thanking us, all of us, for what we're doing. These are supposed to be the opposition, okay? They're not. We had people, those that we didn't convert completely over, the majority are neutralized. They're not going to vote against us. That's a win, okay? And where I'm going with all this is that, okay, the polls have been out for a while now. They're still calling them new. 56% of California wants to legalize. Okay, give or take a few points either direction, because that's how polls go. My old daddy would say we did a lot of political campaigns. I'm sorry, that's just not close enough for my comfort zone. Okay, we have to go out there and we have to enroll the people that are sitting on the fence. We have to go out there and we have to enroll the people who are considered our opposition, okay? Now with these people, I count this as a win too. If we can't convince them to wave the flag or roll a joint or just say yay team and vote yes, get them to don't vote on that issue. That is a vote for us, okay? So neutralize them. You do that without arguing, okay? You do that by finding common ground. There's some real simple things for the common ground, and that we want to get pot out of the schools. Yeah, the most conservative person out there is going to shake their head yes on that one. We want to get pot away from the drug dealers in the city parks. Yeah, because drug dealers, they don't check ID. And okay, so there's number two, yes, right there, okay? And the other one is we want to stop illegal grows. I mean, if you're up on public lands and you're guarding your property, your product with, assault weapons and what have you, I'm sorry, you're a terrorist. You're going to put my grandkids up in jeopardy? I don't think so. Okay, you just got 3 yeses for the most conservative people out there. You're on a roll. Look for more common ground, okay? And again, you do this without arguing, and that don't be defensive. Don't take offense, okay? Just talk. And more important, just listen, okay? If we want to win the election in 2016, and yes, we are going to get on the ballot, and yes, I do hope it's MCLR. There's my endorsement again. And, you know, we are going to get on the ballot. There's no doubt in my mind about that, okay? But do not take that election for granted. Because if you do, we're going to lose. We've come too far, we've worked too hard to lose. You know, it's a real simple thing, and it's something that every single one of you out there can do on a daily basis, okay? Now you can do it. Everybody, every day, have a positive cannabis conversation with someone you don't know, okay? Let's try that again. Every day, okay? Okay, every day, have a positive cannabis conversation with someone you don't know, okay? Thank you very much. I love you all.
Bob Bowerman, boy, you know, he's still saying the same thing. And now, it's so good to see him out and about and recovered enough to rejoin us today. So I'm going to have, just to let you know, at this point, I'm going to have a kind of an open mic conversation. If somebody has a question or somebody has something that they want to come up here and talk about, we'll do that. And then I have a brief announcement. And I just want to let you know that right after that comes the raffle. All right, the raffle is still coming up. So please take advantage of this last opportunity to get out there and buy a raffle ticket. Support this organization, support these meetings, support what we're all doing. Be a part of this community. All right, so anybody have questions for any of our speakers? Anybody have any other announcements or statements? This is the part of the opening up the community so that people can all participate and you don't feel like you're just getting what we're feeding you here. Kavai has a few words.
Okay, as to our rally on the 25th, what I'd really like to do is see our posters blow away the ones that Ron just had at SAC, the water fight at the SAC board. Yeah, we want cooler posters. We want more people. We want to be.
We're not going to debate the relative coolness of posters.
No, but seriously, we need to get you guys down there and making the posters and really showing up. We need you guys to be as public as possible. So I go along with Kelly. Let's, you know, if we don't have, you know, Pure Life shirts, green ribbons, let's just a sea of green on any level.
Shirts are being made, t-shirts are being made, hats are being made right now. There will be available 100 shirts and 100 hats. So they'll be available at the time.
So everybody come out and get some clothing.
Right, thank you, Kavai. So anyone else? Open time? I recognize this gentlewoman from the back. Please introduce yourself to us.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Woodbury, and I'm here with Mindful Cannabis Consulting this evening. And I just wanted to let everyone know that we have a patient support group that we've started in Davis. If anyone is in the Davis area or would like to travel out for that, it's going to happen every last Wednesday of the month from 5:30 to 6:30, and this is happening at the Davis Public Library. We also have an educational workshop that's free for all patients at a therapeutic alternative on September 8th. If anyone's interested in coming to that, that'll be at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. And now another announcement. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Zach Bertzel. I'm just a younger cannabis activist, and one of my big things is kind of being a bridge between my generations, especially the older and the younger ones, and politics, especially cannabis politics, and a lot more controversial politics. And a big thing I saw today was just like we're trying to reach out and really get people who are kind of on the fence, who maybe or opposing to cannabis legalization. When it comes to people around my age or people who are XY millennial generations, what they want to see more so than they want to see more of patients' rights. They want to see more of people in the cannabis organization, reaching out and saying, we understand that the laws and legislations have xenophobic biases. We understand that the people who are that the police are using cannabis wrongfully to incriminate, persons of color and minority groups unfairly and put them into prisons. We need to establish that we care about patients and making marijuana accessible to people who don't have a lot of money or who may not even have money to pay for their medical usage. And we got to make sure that people understand we're not just in this for the funsies. We're not just in this to smoke and just to get the laws out of the way. We are in this to create a better world for everybody. And we're trying to get cannabis out of the dark place that it's been in and put in such a propagandized place. Most of the people I know won't interact with people who are simply for that, or just like, I want to smoke weed for funsies. No, they don't want that. What they want to see is real. They want to see real progress. They want to know that the heart of cannabis legalization is going to be, spreading truth and more so just decriminalizing the plant, but helping the people who have been harmed wrongfully by the government's idea of the plant, I suppose. That's all I want to say.
Thank you, Zach. So, any other announcements? This is our open mic portion.
Last chance for raffle tickets. Raise your hand.
That's what we mean by open mic. That's exactly the kind of inclusive permission that we're giving you. Please take advantage of this opportunity to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Angelique, and I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm actually an old member of Americans for Safe Access. However, I'm not here for them. I'm here for you guys, the people, us, the patients, poor patients. If I can help you understand more about holistic healthcare and alternative healthcare, please approach me. I'm very approachable and very friendly. My name, once again, is Angelique. So if you guys have any other questions, come let me know. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Angelique. No, we have a couple more things now. A couple more things going on. First of all, I'm pleased to announce that the board. Anthony, come on up here. Let people see who you are. Anthony Savala, many of you know, a regular activist here, a grower, a man of heart and passion for the plant, and I'm proud to introduce him as our new secretary of SacNORML, Anthony Savala.
I just want to say hello, and I'm here to help everybody. So if you have any questions at all about anything, just hit us up anytime. I'm here to help you guys with anything that pertains to growing or the law or anything. We all are. So I'm here to work for you guys. So anything you guys need, just let me know.
Tell us about this jar you got.
A lot of companies like what we do, and I reach out to them, and they donate a lot of different things for us to help us raise funds for NORML. And this month, Flavor Jars decided to send us some jars for some of our members to win in our raffle and also help us.
Thank you, Anthony. Okay, it's time for Granddaddy Mike to eat just a little bit of crow here in front of everybody. Many of you who were at last month's meeting and were enlightened by the presentation by Heather Burke, the lawyer from Nevada City who was here, who had a lot to say about California constitutional issues for cannabis, a very articulate and straightforward woman, witnessed the point at the end of her presentation when I invited her to share her tats with us. And I want to let you know that Heather and I have known each other well. I have enjoyed the growth of her tats over years. When she first showed up in the parking lot that evening, we talked about one of her newer additions, and I invited her to share her tats with everybody else. And I understand that there's a very small minority of our community who were offended by that. Okay, to anyone that was offended, I want to sincerely apologize. It was my intention to demonstrate that this strong, articulate woman who I know enjoys cannabis and I know enjoys being an assertive, articulate advocate for cannabis, doesn't need anybody else to defend her. If I put her on the spot by asking her to share her tats with us without prior permission to do so, for that I apologize. But I was really just trying to demonstrate how much like all of us she is, and that she's the kind of lawyer for whom you should feel no reservations about being open and self-disclosing. It was part of my endorsement of her as one of our community. So in keeping with that spirit, I would like to invite anybody who has a tat that they would like to share with the rest of the group to come up here, please, in the front, and do so. So, Ron.
That's my Phoenix.
Okay. Come on, step forward and go across. Showing off your tattoos.
I got more, but I don't think you guys want to go places.
Show us all.
California, the weed leaf.
Probably have one.
Those that are inked like sharing their ink. Thank you very much. Oh, okay. So that's. Oh, we got one more demonstration.
I got an order of steak fries.
Steak fries on her left hip.
And I apologize in advance if anybody was offended by that.
Yes, and I'm hoping that didn't offend anybody. That's so much more politically correct than the rest of us. We're just having fun and enjoying each other. All right. So that said, I'm ready to move on to the raffle. Yay!
We're going to start with. I can't. Tell me what size that is.
There's a bunch of sizes.
Okay.
This is the small.
Actually, you can pick whatever size you want from here. We'll just have this as the sample. All right. The first Pure Life shirt goes to ticket holder 7501. 501. Who has my strip? Oh, we won? Oh, okay. 637501. Come claim your shirt. All right, next ticket. You do have to be present to win, sorry. If 501 comes in, we'll give him a shirt. Oh, yay! Are you Jack? Yeah. Okay. Small is actually perfect. And this Jack's actually posted and promoted the meeting, which is what I want everybody doing. Round of applause for that too. Okay, and then the next shirt's going to go to 673. 673. Come claim your Pure Life shirt. 637-673. We're going to be here all night. Okay. 73. We got a winner.
We got another winner.
Do you know what size you want? Is there extra large in there? Okay, let's go ahead and go on to the next Pure Life shirt. Next Pure Life shirt goes to 637680. And I want to let you guys know I'm going to be going on the 21st, and I have 2 seats open in my car. So hit me up. We will be having the top down, so wear a hat. 680. Come on down.
Another winner.
All right.
Winner, chicken dinner.
All right, we're going to mix it up. We'll go back to the shirts in a minute. We're going to go ahead with flavor jars. Now, I got one of these. It's really interesting. The top has this peel off, and then there's a terpene dealie. And when you put your herb in there, it smells like whatever the jar. This one is definitely pineapple or mango. This one, the winner is 637524. 524. Come on down. Oh yeah. All right. Flavor jars. You couldn't have a better winner. He'll probably buy a case and start selling them next. Sorry. Okay. Next winner is for what do we want? The book. For the book, we have 637491. Come on down, claim your Marijuana Grow Basics book. Seriously? Do you want to trade it for something else?
Somebody who doesn't need this grow book.
Somebody probably helped write this book. Just want it. Go ahead and pick whatever you want from the table. No, the grand prize? Nah, I think we'll have to go with an equal prize to the book. The grand prize is 100. Sorry, I forgot about that prize. Okay, let's do another one for the book. 637700. Come on down, claim your copy of Marijuana Grow Basics, written by Jorge Cervantes. Do you grow? Will you benefit from that? 701? 700?
Well, actually, it's a Jorge book.
Yeah, it's a Jorge book, not signed. Okay, let's go back to the shirts for a minute. Next one is for a shirt of your choice for Pure Life, and hopefully you can make it down to the Pure Life hearing on September 21st. The number is 637492. Come on down. And then we're going to 492. There you go. Didn't you just grab one? You want another one? That one's like a double X large. Lawrence might like it. Or are you 3X? Okay. 637507. Come on down. 507. Claim your shirt. All right, Kavai. Kavai, this is good karma because Kavai donates often to the raffles with her Kavai's tie-dyes. Is that your official name? Kavai's tie-dyes. Do you have a website? No website, like a stoner.
No, don't hassle me for tie-dyes. I'm too busy.
Oh, she's too busy. Sorry. Later, when we legalize weed, she'll go back to making tie-dyes. Okay. Or at least till we get, like, the sheriffs of El Dorado County canceled. All right. 637708. Come on down and claim yet another shirt from Pure Life. 708. Woohoo, Kimberly. This one looks like this one's pineapple. Yeah, definitely pineapple. Like they said in the old Saturday Night Live sketch, you could put your weed in it. Okay, 637685. Come down and collect your flavor jar. All right. You look like an enthusiast. You'll put that to good use. All right.
Can I introduce myself?
Sure, of course.
Hi, I'm actually a former employee of Pure Life Collective, and I was involved in the happenings up there as well. So it affected my family. It affected thousands of El Dorado County residents, and we just would love your support. So, I mean, come on out. I'll buy you a shirt, whatever. I want to see faces out there.
He won the jar because he already has a shirt. Okay, let's go on to this hat. Thank you to Pirate Candy, whoever you are. This was collected at a con. No idea. Google it. 637642. Come on down and collect your knit hat. Oh, this will look good on you, Aaron. I can see you up there walking the hills in the cold. Sure, go ahead. I feel there'll be a lot of trading of that hat. Okay, let's go ahead and do another flavor jar. Flavor jar. Bubblegum flavor jar. I actually have bubblegum flavor jar, and it does make your weed smell and taste like bubblegum. 637670. Come on down. 670. That'd be funny if I won it. I already have one. Okay. Let's go to the cute shorts. Shout out to Heidi Grossman and Jacqueline McGowan and Shelby Lucero, who collected all these fun little items at various cons over the last few months. This would appear to be some shorts with pre-rolled cones on the cheeks. And I hope that doesn't offend anybody. Caviar Gold donated it. The world's strongest medicinal. All right, let's go ahead. I'm sure. Okay. 637-692. Come on down. 692. All right. They look like they'll fit.
We only have medium. We only have
Woo!
what? Light shirts left. So
How many?
Maybe we should not put them up.
Okay.
They're just medium.
There's one over here that got wet too, that I just set aside. Okay. All right. Moving right along. We're going to go to this giant shirt here that was also collected by Heidi and Jackie. Meryl, yeah, this is the big one too. look at Lawrence. All right, ticket please. Thank you. The giant shirt goes to 637-517. 517. Come on down. Who?
Richard Miller.
All right, Miller. This could be your jammy jam, your bedtime shirt. Are we doing yours together or separate, Mike? Together or separate? Okay, so we're separate. So we're doing this next then. Okay, we have a lovely CD made by someone named Tony. It's called Friends of Mary.
This is, actually Tony Oliveira, a good friend of mine who actually writes white paper studies for the legislature in Sacramento. And he wrote this song, and he plays every instrument on it, and he produced it. And it's called My Friend Mary, and Mary is a metaphor for marijuana. And I would say that, yes, it is.
I just got that.
Yeah, right. So, I hope whoever wins this enjoys it.
All right. And that person would be, that's much more interesting than what I said. 637-5 509. Kavai. Go ahead. Yeah. Growing juices. Yeah. Tell you for this. 637-70. Come on down and collect your microbe life hydroponics juice. Ah. Do you want to? All right. There's some growers out here that want some stuff. And the coveted $100 in testing by Sequoia Labs. What? Yeah, I want to win that. I got stuff to test. I got some tincture I want to test. Okay. Flavor jar, strawberry, and it smells like mouth-watering strawberry. 637-514. Come on down and collect your strawberry scented flavor jar. 514.
We have another multiple winner, Richard Miller over here.
Richard Miller. Couldn't think of a nicer person. I bought 12 tickets. I didn't win jack. Okay. The big prize for $100 in testing from Sequoia Labs goes to 637-522. 522. Yeah! Somebody who will actually use it. Congratulations, Granddaddy. Thank you guys so much for coming. Our next meeting will be the second Wednesday. Does anybody know that date? Pull it up. Come on, Google it. Calendar it. The second Wednesday, the date in September is, I want to say the 9th. The 9th. Okay. So we'll be here at 7 o'clock. Watch, if you can, I'll repost it on the Facebook page. If anybody that needs the information from this meeting, there will be the YouTube video you can go back and watch. And then also watch for the task force, because we're going to post our next task force meeting. And we're going to give them a run in the county. We're going to show them that we're not just going to roll over and let them do their thing.
Okay, thank you very much, Ron, for helping us through the rally. Okay, so folks, you want to be an activist. You want to be an advocate. So I want you to pull out your telephones now. Everybody pull out your telephones. Go to your calendar function, okay? And on your calendar, I want to just remind you of things that we've heard about here tonight, okay? August 25th for Aaron and up in county, September, right? For the folks from same location in Placerville. And then we also heard about the last Wednesday every month at the Davis Library. We have a patient support group that's meeting there. Okay? And next Monday, right, an appropriations committee meeting for Senate Assembly Bill 266. All right? And 643. And the Brownie Mary Deborah Club, Brownie Mary Democratic Club on September the 3rd, right here at Perco's. All right, everybody got all those things? Is that too much to ask? No. Okay, I want to thank you all once again for coming out. Let's give a hand for ourselves for showing up here for all of us together. Okay, and to let everybody know that we're showing up for the whole cannabis clan, okay? The people we know, the people we have yet to meet, all of us who benefit from cannabis. And remember, if cannabis supports you, it's time for you to step up and support cannabis, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And one last caution, one more applause, please, for some support for Perco's for allowing us to use this venue on a monthly basis. Thank you very much to Perco's. And in respect for that, I want to caution everybody, please don't blaze closer than 50 feet to the door outside. Right? Please. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. To all of us, a good night.